Courage is the complement of fear. A man who is fearless cannot be courageous. He is also a fool.
Pepto, have you taken that message to Ira yet? Well, if you haven't taken that message to Ira, then where have you been? Right. Well, I can figure it out anyway. The goddamn pink stains that you leave everywhere that you go. Tell me, what use is a cat that walks through walls if they can't even be discreet about it anyways? Fine. I'll let you go. But if that meddler finds me, I'm holding you personally responsible. When a man is the oldest man in the human race, there's very little left to do but die. I have experienced everything that is worth experiencing with this. I've answered almost every question that could have ever answered by life. All other answers are found in death. Death is the ultimate answer. Before, I never wanted to ask the question. Now, I am not afraid.
Lazarus Long is the oldest living man. Even among the Howard Johnson families, no one has lived longer than him. The Howard Johnsons were working for hundreds, even thousands of years, running hotels and some restaurants. But under that guise, they were really perfecting a form of genetic manipulation. Long-lived people bred with long-lived people off a list they were given. Some ordinary humans knew about it too, of course, because as soon as you want something to be a secret, everyone else immediately knows about it. As the years passed, they even learned artificial ways of keeping themselves permanently young via rejuvenation. But for the most part, they lived out their hundreds of years in seclusion. Poor Lazarus lived for thousands, and had done everything he thought he could possibly come to Earth to do, including helping colonize other worlds on the other side of distant galaxies. Unfortunately, he was wrong, and his work wasn't quite done.
Oh my God!
Is he still alive?
I think so, but barely. I hope we can resuscitate him. We should be able to. We'll have to rejuvenate him as well.
No, this damn note says he doesn't want to be.
Oh, Ira, we can't just let him die. I mean, he's the most important person there is. He's the senior.
Very well. We'll take him with us. I just hope he understands.
He will, eventually.
Have peace, or you can have freedom. Don't ever count on having both at once.
Where am I? Well, sure someone's the afterlife. What's going on? And why do I smell like pickles? You!
Greetings, Senior Lazarus, LJS.
If you're going to bring me on my old language by that ridiculous title, you may as well use my full name.
Well,
nothing.
Once we had Minerva look up the significance of your latter initials, we feel a bit silly using them.
Look, I was born in 1917. Believe me, Long John Silvers was not around then. I helped start it from the twins that weren't really
Look,
twins.
your stories and wisdom are not what we need right now.
No,
They're not
there's-
really important.
No, what's important is that the 2, 3, 4 of you have seen fit to rejuvenate me against my will. I wanted to die. I was ready for it.
Senior, I was
Long John Silver, God damn it! Just call me Lazarus.
Lazarus, we cannot let you die.
You know too much.
You're important.
That's nothing new. I've been important for centuries, and they didn't try to keep me alive against my will.
You didn't try to die then.
Oh, don't use logic against me, hussy.
Well,
Only with me, dear. Only with me.
of course I won't cut you here.
You see, we needed your advice on a topic that only you could answer. It took us years to track you down, all between name changes and plant hopping. You're virtually untraceable.
Did you ever think, maybe just once, that I wanted it that way? Well, of course. But that's where Minerva comes in.
Yes, I tracked you by following the cat.
God damn it, Hefto, where is she?
The cat requires rejuvenation as well. She'll be returning shortly.
She's not mine. She's not anybody's, really. Animals like that just don't. Just set her free and she'll figure out where she needs to be.
Is it true that she walks through walls?
And leaves the damnedest pink stain behind.
Incidents of a pink chalky substance mysteriously appearing led us to the location that we discovered you at. You were quite near death.
I wanted to die. Is that so hard to understand?
There is no good reason to die, Senior. You have been alive for 2,000 years, and by the status of your reju, could easily make another choice.
I have nothing left to do.
Well, you do now. We have a question to pose for you.
Which you probably haven't been asked before. Hence a new life experience.
And having a new reason to live. Why do I suddenly feel scared?
You see, Lazarus, us four are in charge of finding the next meeting location for the next meeting of the Howard Johnson families.
The new Madam Chairman Pro Tem wants to have the meeting moved. Ever since the rebellion of executives.
And you know how she is. She's a fat hog! That's how she is.
Well, that's certainly part of it.
She wants to move the meeting to someplace special and hold them there for the entire time she has the position.
The whole 7 years? Well, of course. Well, I guess it makes sense.
But this place has to be someplace really special.
You tell him, Heinlein Dryad.
Well, she wants to have the meeting in the place with the best food in the entire explored multiverse. I mean, any time period, any place, any planet, it doesn't matter. She just wants the best food there. And then she wants to hold it there because she thinks it will put people in a better mood for the proceedings.
Lazarus, you're not only the oldest man, you're also the oldest restaurateur anywhere. You need to help us find this location. And maybe even help with the food.
And you think that bullshit like this is a good enough reason to tack 100 years onto a dying, bored man's life?
But you've not done it before.
Certainly I have. I've cooked, I've cleaned, I've been a restaurant tycoon. I don't need to do those things again. Not for the Howard Johnson families. Not for anybody.
You are here. At least consider it. You could help us.
And serve what common good? This is the worst thing you could have asked me to do. It makes no sense.
Look, Madam Chairman Pro Tem specifically asked for you. We had no choice in it either. Grandfather.
Oh, don't pull that bullshit on me, son.
Well, why not? It's true, I am descended from you.
Half the human race on any given planet is descended from me. You have to earn the right to call me grandfather.
May I call you grandfather?
Yes, you may. Who are you again?
Minerva.
Yes, Minerva, you may.
Now why does she get to it?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're still holding me here for the against my will, for the stupidest task known in history.
All right. All right. If you don't want to help us, that's fine. But at least give us some ideas where we might hold the meeting.
You owe us that. What do I owe you? You saved my life, which I didn't want saved, and then you make out in front of me for God knows how long. I'm sorry, Senior. It's okay. We Howard Johnsons are lucky that we live long enough to have time enough for love.
How screw love! There's no time enough for love, there's only time enough for lunch. We need to get back to the lunch.
So this luncheon has taken over your life?
Oh, this is nothing. He's been obsessed before. For a while, he wanted to collect all the old Fraggle Rock bids. But even the worst person at auctions will eventually get all of those. There's just not that many episodes to collect.
I'm beginning to resent you, half here.
Well, I wouldn't do that if I were you, irate Ira. Or else your hammy-whammy won't be willing to schlong along anymore. After all, can't do that with men that resent me, can I? I have to have some standards.
Okay, I'll tell you what you want to know.
Tell us about the places you've been and where the best food was.
Earth. Around the time I was born. My mother's cooking, but you should have guessed that.
Minerva, do you think you could figure out a feasibility study on whether or not we could go back in time and hold the meeting there?
Don't bother. Mother would never stand for it. That would look terribly suspicious in a time like that.
Well, perhaps we could bring her here then.
Oh, if you do, it better be for a far better reason than a stupid goddamn luncheon.
Minerva, what are the chances of creating a mode of interstellar travel that would allow Mrs. Maureen Smith to be transported here at this time and place?
In time for the luncheon, 89%. I will get on retrieving her immediately.
All deserve a slow, painful death.
If that doesn't work, can you think of anywhere else?
Certainly I can. 2,000 years of experience doesn't leave a man without a sense of taste.
Well, then tell us. We have time.
Fine. I'll start off with the story of the twins that weren't really twins. You see,
Generation which ignores history has no past and no future.
I found the twins as slaves, but I could tell that they were something special. I was told that they were twins, but they really weren't. They were something called mirror twins. Intended as a breeding pair, they were terribly mistreated. And so I brought Ida and Joe with me on some of my travels. And Joe learned to cook, and they eventually opened up this little diner. But can't you see how stressed Ida is? All she would do is run around and wait on tables. And Joe doesn't even have an assistant. I found out later that they were trying to save enough money to pay me back for setting them free to begin with. And that simply wouldn't do. I couldn't let them do that. So I convinced them to open up a gourmet restaurant instead. There, they lived out their long, long lives together, actually having time to love one another.
Did you say gourmet restaurant?
You really are pathetic excuse for a person, you know that?
Why? I just asked you a question.
You're missing the point.
Will you please just tell me about the restaurant?
Better yet, come on, I'll show you. Let's sit down.
But isn't this just a figment of your imagination?
Memory.
What?
Minerva,
Yes, grandfather.
does Ira here have one of those implants?
Of course, grandfather.
Climb into this, will you?
Certainly.
Come on, let's sit down. This is the best little restaurant anywhere.
Captain Sheffield! It's so nice to see you!
Lita, darling. It's great to see you too. Lita? This is my associate, Ira. Ira, this is Lita, and that man over there is Joe.
Captain, have you told me of his summer proposal?
Waitress!
Just a minute!
I want my check.
I said just a minute! Captain, you were saying?
I'm flat right turning you down. I will not accept money from the two of you. I have plenty of my own. Besides, we have a plan to save all three of us money. You need more time for yourselves and your kids.
Later, honey!
Well, see this idea. The food was harmful and always
Of course, Daniel. Please come again.
I will. Well, it's simple, really. I think that you and Joe should open up a bigger restaurant.
What, are you crazy? Don't you think we have enough work to do already?
Yes, and that's exactly the problem. I assure you must move forward. See if you open up a really big, fancy gourmet restaurant.
Like the one in Valhalla.
Yes, exactly like that. If you open up a big restaurant like that, you know, with the money that you two think that you need to pay me for sending you to pretty good, you make more money. You would have more time for yourselves and your children.
But we have to.
Oh, do you? How many times did you just drop into bed?
More, but we still have children. I told you later. Hey, Mom. Thank you, honey.
Look, heroes is not just making children. We're supposed to enjoy the things we love each other. And I don't think that you and you have enough time to love each other. We're just tired. If you open up the restaurant, I'm suggesting you would not have to work except for you.
How can we make much money then?
Well, you hire cooks and you teach them how to cook like you. They handle the lunch. You hire other hostesses and waitresses as well. Anita, you only work the days that Joe works. On some days, you work both. And you become known for your fancy and expensive dinners.
Right, just like big expensive gourmet.
Well, that's what this is going to be.
Yeah. I don't know. It's better later. Are you sure that they'll be busy?
That reason alone, Joe, is why you will be famous. You'll be famous with me. The restaurant will work.
How are you sure this will work?
Well, doesn't come straight easy, but I think it will.
Well, Joe.
Well, I'm going to get back to you tomorrow.
Mom, Dad, Susie kicked me. We have to get back to work.
But we'll get back.
So did their gourmet restaurant work out?
Of course it did.
Minerva, can we visit there?
Certainly.
Not necessary, Ira. I already told you, don't you trust me?
Trust.
If you think that I'm the final word on fine cuisine, why would you want to go see yourself? You obviously don't trust anybody but yourself. There's a certain amount of value in that, I will admit. But if you care enough to bring me into this in the first place, you might respect my opinion more.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter anyways. The restaurant closed years ago. You'd have to take the whole meeting back in time if you wanted to go. And you'd have trouble getting reservations for that big of a number. And besides,
Besides what?
Anita and Joe never mentioned to me about having a family meeting then. They were Howard Johnsons too, you know. They would have said something like that and would have to be invited. So the meeting must not happen then.
True. Also, we should avoid creating a paradox.
There's no such thing. Things either happen or they don't. You find that out sometime, son.
Look, if I'm not allowed to call you grandfather, then don't you dare, don't you ever call me son.
You'll earn that right when you learn something, son.
Does that mean?
Hell no! Don't you forget it.
So what then?
It doesn't matter. And then you're going to do whatever you want to anyways.
True. In fact, we may already have a solution. Minerva may be able to fetch Maureen.
I'm still working on that, Ira.
Yes, well, there's our solution. No questions asked.
Oh, but I think there are questions that need to be asked.
Like what?
Why is this so important to you? Is your job really at stake? Isn't one good restaurant that the chairman pro tem hasn't been to just as good as another?
Lazarus. You know times have changed. Now how it used to be in the past. People are living longer and everything that didn't used to matter does.
Why should such a tiny thing like this have to take up all of your time?
Look. See this? This is my assignment, right here. See? My only current assignment.
So you think a little thing like this has to take up all of your time, and you think that it's okay just to ruin somebody else's life?
No, Senior, I don't. I also don't believe I'm ruining your life. After all, you can't ruin your prologue.
Yes, you can. This isn't as important to me as it is to you.
Oh, and what's important to you?
Love!
That's not important.
It is. It's far more important than anything else. That's why Ida and Joe eventually found true happiness together. When they had time to enjoy it.
Look, love doesn't run the world.
No, you're right. Stupidity does. But it shouldn't. And love should.
Look, I'm tired of this right now. Maybe when I get to When I have more time.
There's always time. That's what a long life is supposed to give you.
Doesn't matter if I live centuries or not. No, I'll always be busy.
Then quit.
And what would I do for money? There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Oh, no. The saying goes, there ain't no such thing as free lunch. At least get it right.
Whatever.
The nice thing about money is that you can always give more of it.
And what?
As a pioneer.
Oh, maybe in your life it's been true.
Anybody can do it.
And how many times have you? What? I don't have time for this right now.
Look, when me and Dora moved out, just shut up. God damn it, man. I could understand if you're after me for wisdom. I could understand if you're after me for knowledge of ancient cultures. But this goddamn quest of yours I do not understand. And I am not going to cooperate anymore.
No, Senior, please just tell me what you're saying.
No!
About Dora.
Dora.
There's a schoolhouse by the pawn shop where Dora has her lessons. By the schoolhouse there's a mule yard where Dora's friend Buck lives.
You see, Dora was the one woman that I truly loved. I adopted her when her parents died, and I kissed her goodbye when she went to join them in the afterlife. She was the one girl that made me believe in one. I raised her, and I married her. That day that we were looking at, well, I just wanted to leave when she grew up. I just couldn't. Dora was just the sweetest girl a man could ever know. And this, my sweetest memory of her. I was never really a father to her. That much she knew. I was a teacher and a friend. And we loved each other dearly. I just wanted to raise her and then let her go. Let her have the life she was meant to lead, with a man that would grow old with her. But of course, love stepped in the way. She wasn't a Howard Johnson, Ira. So she died so soon. Transient people, their lives are so short. And yet she seemed young right up until the very end, and she taught me so much. She even called me by my true name, too. Not many people do that. I had so many names. Look, Ira, this is what life is all about. That girl, over there. Nothing else. Nothing more. We lived out on the plains for years before anyone came out and joined us. Our kids, they grew up without knowing anybody else. It was all so sweet then. It's bittersweet now. She even saved my life once. Dora's the kind of girl that a man finds once in a lifetime and never forgets. I truly believe that it's thanks to her love that I am here today. We didn't have much. Just a couple of mules who were our dear friends. They talked on that planet, you know. And our house and our kids. But of course, love makes up for all that you have not.
Uncle Gibby? Uncle Gibby?
I'm here, Dora.
You weren't going to leave without saying goodbye, were you?
No, of course not.
Did you get Bob out yet?
No, not yet.
Can we go for a walk?
Without Buck?
Bob is with military, but this time needs to be just for us.
What did you just call me?
I know you're a Howard Johnson. I heard about them from that speaker that came here a few months ago. But I guess before that you were something special. You pretend to age, but I know you don't. And I know I don't.
Oh, Dora.
But that's okay, because I figured out how to solve that a long time ago.
Dora, there's no solution to aging.
There is. You see? We all need the same amount of time.
How?
Well, there's always past, present, and future. We leave now what there is for now, and that's all.
Dora.
you are leaving. It's calling you away. I can feel it in you. The universe out there calls you each morning, begging you to go help other people on other planets. He wants to go and work and find your answer.
Dora.
I won't hold you back here. I simply won't. You never raised me to be that kind of girl. But there's something I want first, and it is something I do not want Bob to hear, which is why we're discussing it in here and not out there on a ride. But we can go for a ride later.
I planned on leaving you money.
I don't want money, Lazarus. I'm a self-supporting woman. What I want doesn't cost any money at all.
Dora!
I want to have your child.
No, you don't. You don't want to marry me. You don't want.
I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm asking for 10 minutes now. And a child forever.
But when you do wish to marry, you will very much wish that you cannot have my child. I am not going to let you throw away your life just because you're upset about me leaving.
I have decided this long time ago. Long before I found it in Laura Howard.
Howard Johnson.
Whatever. I've decided this long time ago. When I was very young. But it has never left it in my mind. And I have never thought of anything else. Aunt Helen always thought that I was being silly. But I'm too old for it to be silly anymore. I'm serious, Lazarus.
Dora, well, this is for you. You must marry me if you intend to have my child.
I'm not the blushing virgin, Lazarus. I do not need to be married to have your child, whether by strangers or the usual way.
When you have my child, I very much wish you did not.
I will not. I will not hold you back here. I will not be married to you in here with you out there. I will not. I'm making a secret request. My last one of you ever. You refuse to fulfill it.
Dora, shut up!
What?
Would you have a child with me every time I return? Every year? Every 2 years?
Certainly, yes. Anything.
You crazy little idiot. I believe you would do it that way.
I'll do anything for you.
Dora, you will not do it that way. Do you hear me? Will you go where I go and live where I live?
Of course I will, Lazarus. Anything.
First of all, my proper name is Woodrow Wilson Smith.
Of course I will. Or drop anything.
Second, are there any conditions on that? Any at all? Because there can't be.
No, Woodrow.
If it comes to a showdown, will you do what I tell you to do without questions or hesitation?
Of course, Woodrow.
Will you bear my children and be my wife till death do us part? I take thee, Dora, to be my wife, to love, protect, and cherish, and to never leave you so long as we both shall live. Oh, Dora. Please, don't cry. Just kiss me instead. We're married. I love you.
I love you too.
I love you, Dora. I do. I swear I have ever since. I'm sorry, Ira. You see, the things that I remember, they're not about food. They're about the people that I love. Maybe someday, when you're older, you'll see that too.
Could she cook? You could probably get her too.
You fucking bastard! How dare you suggest such a thing? She's dead! She's at peace! Leave her there, you asshole! You will not hurt Dora!
Okay, okay! Please?
Look, Ira, the deal's off. You've gone too far this time, you narcissistic asshole.
Shit!
I have often wished to be human, grandfather.
Wyman, As a computer, you can obviously see it causes much pain.
I have felt pain and fear and anger and love. I have not felt eros, for I am simply not equipped for it. I cannot explain the emotions I feel, but I know that I do.
Perhaps, Minerva, you are more human than most people ever get to be.
Why are you angry at Ira?
You would have hurt the woman I love more than any other for some selfish purposes. She died, but she was happy. She's going
That's
to stay
very
there.
noble.
Nobleness has nothing to do with it.
Oh,
I love her, and that's all that there is.
if I were human, would you love me?
Minerva, I do love you, even if you are not human.
But I want to experience it all, not just what I can trapped in this console and these speakers. I want to have the kind of love that you had with Dora.
See? At least you get it. How can these others just walk around and pretend like this luncheon is the most important thing that there is?
Well, maybe it is to them.
Who are you?
Maureen Smith. Pleased to meet you.
Lazarus Long. Doesn't that bother you? Just to be plucked out of existence and brought here against your own will to perform some menial task?
Well, it did at first, but then they told me about rejuvenation, and I had that done. And I feel so much better now. I'm not afraid to fall down anymore. I was getting so weak. But what does it matter? Here I am, far in the future, away from that pain. And they told me when my children appeared.
Yes, your son Woodrow is here.
He was always my favorite, you know. I'm so glad to know that he's okay in... What year is this?
One too far in the future for you to believe.
I'm still
Doesn't
not-
matter anymore.
I'm still not sure what to cook.
Your waffles.
How do you know? Do I know you from somewhere?
Somewhere long, long ago.
I can't quite put my finger on it.
You will, in time.
I hope. So what were you writing to Minerva about?
Oh, that?
You can tell me. I'm sure she'd appreciate it.
It just upsets me that these people here, they're so tied up in their work lives, their meetings, their assignments, their luncheons. They don't know or need anything else. You don't know about love, Marie. They don't know anything.
Lazarus, if a man does not understand love, then he does not deserve to have it. One day, when they understand love, they will be given love. It's not something that can be taught.
You were always wise.
Not as wise as you. You live longer than me, you know.
It means nothing.
Have you found true love in your life?
A few. One in particular. But of course, now that I'm young again, maybe I'll have a chance to find another.
My first left me for another woman. After that, I did not remarry for a long time. I have been, and I've been happy. But I've been lucky.
You would be welcome in my family here.
That's not something to rush into.
Oh, these times, they're different. People love far more freely than when you were born and grew old. That's why those two.
Ishtar and Galahad?
Yes, that Ishni Galahad fellow. That's why they're all over each other all the time. They're really quite bright. They're just very annoying.
Love to me is something quiet and personal. It develops, and you can feel it spark.
Maureen! You're in the kitchen! Get in here at once!
What a moron. Well, maybe after this luncheon we can sit down and talk about it. I guess this little kitty led me here after all. It's certainly not boring, is it?